Hi all, welcome to ASP.NET Web Series. Myself Krishna Chaitanya. I'm working as a .NET developer. Here in this session, I will explain the ASP.NET basic folder structure. Before explaining the structure, I want just introduce about the ASP.NET. What is the ASP.NET? ASP.NET is a Microsoft technology. By using the ASP.NET, we can able to do the web applications which will run on the web server, and we can browse anywhere in the worldwide. Means here what are the application which is developed based on the ASP is the extension of ASPX. The page which can be browsed on the server is the extension with ASPX. And here ASPX stands for active server page, and X refers to it can be browsed on the any type of the platform. Means we can browse on the Safari, or we can browse on the Android system which have the Chrome, or any other systems of Windows or Linux. So here we have the basic folder structure of the ASP.NET. And as we seen here, these are the basic folder structures. And when developed ASP.NET web application, it can have the assembly info.css, global file, web form, references, properties, and configuration file. If any service references it have, we have to refer that one in extra. These are the basic folder structure. We will see the basic folder structure one by one with Visual Studio. Here we are using the Visual Studio. Visual Studio is a platform for the developing of the .NET related application, where we can able to do the Windows application, web applications, and the console application, if any other applications. In the web, we are having a different type of application. Here I have empty application or any web form with the predefined forms MVC, MVC3, MVC4, any of them. Here I am taking the ASP.NET web application. Here I have created a lake named as my web application. Once you click on OK, the application will be created with the basic folder structure as the empty form. And as we seen here it is created the one folder structure. It can have in the properties, references, web config field. What is the properties? When I double click on that one, it will open the properties application. Property application having the different tabs. One has the application tab, build tab, means where we have generating of the DLLs path, different form, and packages, if any references. And here my assembly name is the my web application. Whenever one DLL is referred to the in any other application, by using the here my web application has a namespace for that application. So it is called assembly for this application. And property, when you expand the property, you are having the assembly info.cs file, and assembly info.cs file contains the information related to the that particular assembly. What is the version, title of the assembly, description, copyright, company, product, trademark, as is seen here. And it has the one graphical user interface ID and assembly version and assembly file name. And what is the practical? In practical, there is a lot of advantage using that assembly version. And these are, as we see on the Visual Studio, these are the same things which are explained here. It is assembly title provides the title, description, company, product, trademark, copyright. And whenever the application is browsed on the web server, the content of the application script or HTML tags which will be stored in the cache files. If I have any upgradation or enhancement for the application, by default all the cached files are stored in the web application, because browser can able to store that files. So whenever the application is opened, then we can able to see the faster response. In the first time we are seeing the slow in response. In the second time onwards, it will be the faster response, because application data is stored in the cached files. So if we want to do any enhancement or any upgradation for the application, By default, cached files will be stored. If you have changed any script files, it will not refer the latest file because it's already having the downloaded cached file in the cached files. So in that case, if you want to download the new file or it will to reflect the new file, here we will use the version as to download the latest file. How to download the latest file as a version, we will make a separate video for that one. And I will go to the solution explorer and it can have the reference file. By default, web application needs the some predefined classes or which is generated. DLLs are required. These are the system core, system data. What are the details and what is the use of these DLLs? We will make another video for that one to discuss about that one. And by default, we have the web.configuration. Here we are include the configuration related things. By default, it's showing the system.web configuration. Here I am using the .NET Framework 4.5. What is the configuration file? If we want to refer any service file or any other third-party service file, service references means whenever any other application done some application, to refer that particular application in our web application means when third party developed one of the applications or for example Google developed the Google Maps. If you want to consume that Google Maps in our web application, we need reference for that Google Maps. To how to refer that one, Google provide the some APIs or any other third party tools will provide the APIs. We will give the API reference in this web.configuration. By reading the config file in our application, we will make that one. Or we are having the SQL. SQL means if you want to get the any data from the database or store the database or retrieve data from the database. The database related information will be given here, and based on that information we will make one key name. Based on that key name, we will consume in our web application. We will use that one. There is a lot of application and a lot of users using the web configuration. Here I am going to the solution explorer. Here I will add the these are the basic folders. I will add the one empty web application. Here I am taking the new item. I am coming web form, add it, and by default with some properties it is adding with some page directives and some HTML, some other references. As you know that whenever the HTML has it can have the tag of the HTML, head section, body section, and form section or any other sections. By default, on the top of the web form in ASPIC contain the page directive. It will define the what is the language it is going to use the web application. We are having different languages in the ASP.NET like C Sharp, VB, F Sharp. So there are other languages are there. So here I am using the C Sharp as a basic language, so it is referring to the C Sharp. And my code behind file. What is the code behind file? In ASP.NET web application is a structure which is defined with the code behind. Means designer in one page and the reference file means the coding related stuff in other page. This is called the code behind file. We'll see that what is the code behind file. And this is the inheritance. Inheritance means our namespace is my application and I have created a web form one. So here I'm saying about the code behind file. When I right click on that one, I can have the context menu in the click on the view code. It will go into the view code. So this is the code behind the file for that well UI. Here I am seeing the one predefined event is the page layout, which will be happen at the page is going to initialize and loading all the data. So here I have typed in body as welcome to my first website. I'm saving that one. Here when I have the shortcut for F5 to launch the browser window. Here I am having the one action which I have to click on this. Here it will open the web application in the browser. In the browser I have the browser like Google Chrome, Firefox and Internet Explorer. So by default I am giving the Google Chrome. So it is showing as a tick mark, and if I launch the browser by default it will open in the Chrome. So actually in web application will be deployed in the web server. Here we are using as a IIS, Internet Information System, as a web server for the application development. But by default Visual Studio can have the ability to launch the IIS port. It will check the port in the IIS. It will launch the web application. As you see here, it is showing the my first page. And I have seen the whatever the typed application here. Here I have seen the port number. Visual Studio check the available port on the web server. It will take that help of that port and it will come in our port and it is running on the web application. So it is in the running mode. So here it is showing the running mode. So when I click on that one, by default the browser close the application running state to it is the original state. So here we are seeing the basic response. Along with that one, if I want to do any operations before the page is going to load, means I have some things to do before paging the load. Means I want to maintain the state of the application or any references or session maintenance. For example, as in the real time, if I have the one application and I want to check the number of user visited for my application. These things are going to happen whenever the application load. We can check this one. How to check this one? To do the operation before page is going to load, we have the one of the form as global.asx file. How to add this one? By default in web application do not have that file. Here we need to add that file. I have to go to here, click on new item and take the file here, global file, global application. By default, whenever the global file is created, we have the ASX and the CS file. In the code behind file, here we are seeing the some of the events which is occurred whenever the application is going to load. Here as we see, application is start, this event will occur whenever the application is started or whenever the application is requested. Session start, application begin request, authentication request, application error. These events will be fired one by one whenever the application is started. Means whenever the browser is requested, these events will be occur before page loading, and after the response is created, sent back to the server one by one. These methods will execute and clear the execution of the file. Here we will make a breakpoint and let us see how to all the application. All the events, how they are executing the web application. Here I have the web.page underscore load file. Here I will write one response on that web application. Here we are having the response dot write to write the response on the web application. Welcome all. to launch the application, I have said that F5 or click on the Chrome. Here the application is going to launch, and whenever the application is going to launch, as per that ASP.NET life cycle will be happen, and web application is rendered on the browser. As we discussed, whenever the application is launched, the first thing global.asx file will be kept. When one application have the one global.asx file, only one thing is a remember thing. And there is an interview question: what are the global files can application have? Only one file. Whenever the application is started method will be file, and to get into the next step, I'm clicking F7 or going to the method. We are clicking on the F11. I'm clicking on the F10 to step over all the methods. The application is started. Application will begin. Request is started, and application authentication request. If you have any authentications, and it is browsing, and right now my session is going to start from here onwards. And for any application, when one browser requested one thing, a unique session ID is generated for all the requests. In my mission, when one application is requested using a Chrome, it have own unique session ID by using the same application. So request from the Internet Explorer, then one session will be generated. Same thing when I using from the Mozilla, then same thing will be happen. Means whenever I have requested from the same application from the different browsers, unique session ID will be generated. And the part of applications based on the session ID, we can able to find where is the resource. And my one session is started. Here my page load is occurred, and it will write the response, right? And then as we see here, response is written back to here. And other than this one, as we see here in the ASX file, we are having the other events which is not occurred. We are having the application error. This will occur whenever any part of the error is happened in the application. Means what is the real use of this one? In I have one application or different modules are there in that application. In particular module, if I got the any error, it will be thrown that error, and to catch up that error and to log that error, then that case use the application error. This method will fire any type of application. Here we can log or showing the response to the user. This is the way of the catching the error technology. In one of the video session, I will make that how to catch the errors and how to take the exceptions. What are the type of exception? And there is a concept of exception handling in the ASP.NET. And here we are having a session and application, and by default ASP here we are having the 20 minutes is a predefined. After 20 minutes it will come to the session and application and part. So response is written here. My response is written here along with that response. What it is the response from the ASX file. This is the response from the server page. So as we see now, these are the basic events. Other than this, there are some more events out there. As we've seen here, whenever the application request is happened, there is a four things we are observed that one. Here we are requesting the site, and the site is coming to that requesting site, and the site request is coming to this global file, and after that it is coming to the page file, and after that response object is created and written back to the requested server. So there is a response object creation happened after the response is generated. Means we'll go that one. There is the four things which are happening. One is the request. Request is made from the web server. So that web server is going to the application, and after that application it is going to the page life cycle. After the page life cycle, response object is created. After response object is generated, every object whatever the creation in this total folder process, all things are destroyed. Means whatever the object is created, end of the application requested completed, all the objects are destroyed. Means so once objects are destroyed, we don't have the status. So here the here where application ASP.NET Web application is worked on the stateless protocol. So it don't have the any state or information once the request is coming back to the server. So you don't have able to store the data. Don't be confused here for this why it is not store data, why that one. I will make another video session. So as we seen here, there is the two processes are occurring the total life cycle of the web application. One is the application level phase cycle, one is application phase cycle, one is, and the second one is the page life cycle. The application life cycle, these are the major events will be occur, and the page life cycle there is some more events. We will make a detail in the next video section about the life cycle of the ASP.NET. So in this section we are seeing the basic application and the basic folder structure of the application. Just we remember the things what we're having, basic things of the web application. So as I said, my session is going to end here. So it is coming to the session end. After the session end, application will be end here. So I'm going to solution explorer. So what are the basic parts of the web application? Web application contains the properties and assembly info file, reference files, global.asax, web.configuration, and web forms. And can application can have one of them? No, that is not mandatory. Any web application can have the any number of web forms. A application can have the different web dot configuration. No, a web application can have the single web dot configuration. Inside of the web form or any inside of the folder, if we want to add the any configuration, there can be able to add the number of configurations. But at a folder level, only we have means application level we are only one have web configuration. We have any folder level there we can have the number of web.configuration files, and we are having only one reference file. There we are having a different references file. And as I said, here is a one more folder we have in here. I'm stopping the debugging and going to solution explorer. And as I said, there is a service reference folder is there. Here I have the path for that one. When I click on the add service reference, if you have any other services means developed means the application is developed on the three tiers architecture. In the three tier architecture, we have the services differently hosted on the web server. To consume that web server, here we are giving the server details and click on go. It will add the particular service reference. And I'm stopping the session here itself. As I discussed, there is a ASP.NET lifecycle will be happened once when all the user is requested, response is creation is happened. In meantime, request response in between request and response, ASP.NET lifecycle is happened. In the ASP.NET lifecycle, web application lifecycle and page application lifecycle will be happened. The detailed section I will do in a separate video session. Thank you for watching.